I'm not sure what's going on here. We're having technical difficulties, but it is looks like it's back on. So if you guys did leave, hopefully you guys can come back. And if on Facebook, if you can't check it out on Facebook, head to our YouTube and you can find it there as well. So we do apologize
while you're
for
over
the
there
rate start.
on YouTube, you might as well subscribe to us on YouTube. That way, if Facebook kind of bogs down or feed goes down, go ahead and check us on YouTube. We're always there every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Go ahead and subscribe over there and hit the notification bell to get all of our latest and greatest updated content. Also, any news that you're looking for, well, we got your one-stop portion for your news, and that's on Twitter at FB_no. Go ahead and check us up on there. Follow us. Share the video. Like the video. Comment below. Anything you want to talk about, guys. We're not here just to show you what our show is. We want you guys to be a part of this. You know-it-alls out there. Go ahead. Maybe ask some questions. Do you have something you want to get off your chest that's been bothering you about your team, or something that they did in free agency or the upcoming draft? Feel free. Share with us.
Absolutely, and it's things happen here. It goes out, and I think it's Restream had a little issue here. I've had an issue with the chat box, so we're trying to work through the technical difficulties. But thank you so much for joining us again here tonight. So, Joe, the last couple of weeks here, it started last week, you started doing this. You decided to come up with a list here, and we're looking at the NFL draft moving forward and looking at the top prospects here that are coming out. And last week we did your tight ends, the wide receivers, and quarterbacks. The hot commodities everybody's looking for and stuff now too. So he decided to move forward with the lists here, and we're going to come up and bring you guys here Joe's top 10 offensive tackles now here that we've got here. So going here, starting at number 10 here, Joe. Let's kick it into this. Here we go. And number 10, who do you got?
All right, number 10, I have John Simpson. John Simpson, I saw him at the Combine. It kind of really showed me what this guy is able to do. Very athletic type of tackle. And here's the thing. Here's the craziest thing about this draft is tackles are super deep. So like I was saying before, you could potentially get a guy way later in the draft in the middle rounds that could possibly, if he's a tackle, could possibly end up starting for you one day, maybe even right away. But John Simpson is one of those players that I really like. At number 9, I like a guy by the name of Lucas Niang. Lucas, another guy that I kind of discovered at the Combine. Really like this kid's athleticism. He's strong. There's a lot to like with his technique. But also at number 8, kind of trying to get right through this list because there's not a whole lot to talk about with offensive linemen. There's a lot of things that I like about these guys. Number 8, Ezra Cleveland. This guy didn't really kind of blow anybody away in terms of like overall workouts or anything like that. He is very athletic. He looks the part. He's got good technique. But it's not like he was one of the guys that ran the fastest or one of the guys that jumped the farthest or jumped the highest. He was just a good all-around player that I really like at number 8. At number 7, like a guy by the name of Isaiah Wilson. Isaiah Wilson, another guy that I kind of discovered and tripped over when I was going through all these different linemen. A guy that I really like. I definitely could see him becoming a starter in the future. And this is kind of like where we get into the prime real estate, if you will, at number 6. A guy by the name of Josh Jones, or a.k.a. Joshua Jones, is how they had it at the Combine. Josh Jones, he's a kid out of Houston. There's a lot to like with him. You look at his tape and you see definitely a dominant type of tackle. He makes the list very easily. And then we're into the top 5 here. Top 5 I have at number 5, Austin Jackson. Austin Jackson out of USC. Now, he kind of dipped a little bit in terms of production throughout the season. He's not as polished of a guy, but he has a tremendous amount of potential going forward. Just to give you a quick story on Austin Jackson, this is how great of a dude he is. He donated bone marrow for his sister in the previous season in college just so she could get better in the hospital. And because of that, he basically forfeited that year of playing time. So he's not just a great offensive lineman. He's also a great person, a guy that sees, just sticks up for his family, and you could just really tell he's got huge character. Number 4, I have out of Georgia, I have Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas, a bull in the china closet type of guy, a guy that still needs to further develop his game, but he is one of those premier tackles that is definitely going to be taken in the upper echelon of the first round. And then in the top 3, at number 3, I have Iowa tackle Tristan Wirfs. Tristan is, unbelievably athletic, and the size of his legs is retarded. They just should not be allowed. He's got, now we looked at Saquon Barkley and how big his quads were and everything when he was coming out in the draft, and everybody was like, man, this kid's got huge legs, he's got great balance there. This kid, Tristan Wirfs, he's got tree trunks for legs. It's insane. But the other thing about him, he's super fast, super athletic. He's got a lot to like with his game. As a tackle, though, he does need to refine his technique a little bit more coming up into the pros. A lot of people kind of tend to see Wirfs as more of a guard than tackle, because just imagine this dude pulling. He's just ridiculous. But nonetheless, I tend to see him as more of like a left tackle. He's very quick, very, very tenacious. And then at number 2, we have Alabama, Jedrick Wills. Jedrick Wills, I was super impressed when I watched his tape, when I watched his combine drills and everything that he participated in. Very quick for a guy his size. Very quick, very athletic. His punch is tremendous. He's very strong type of guy. And his technique is super sound. And, it's incredible. This is one of those guys that I could see the Giants taking at 4 overall. Jedrick Wills is absolutely an amazing talent. And at number 1, and yes, this top 10 list is based on your preference. I love big linemen. So number 1, I got Mekhi Becton, the biggest lineman in the draft. A guy that is super huge. The guy is 6'7", 350 pounds, 350 plus. Guy's massive. And for a massive dude, ran one of the faster combines. It was absolutely insane. Guy's super athletic, strong as an ox, and he's got very quick feet. So Mekhi Becton ends up edging out Jedrick Wills. But those two guys, one of those two I think are going to be the first one picked, and I would not be upset if any of these guys are taken early on.
There you go. There's Joe's top 10 offensive tackles. Now we're going to go to our interior alignment. What happened here? All right, here we go. Interior alignment. I got an O-line in here for some reason. I don't know why that says that. Maybe it got changed.
Because it would have made the title.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I did. That's right. That's why we changed that. All right, okay. Here we go. All right, so it's Joe's interior alignment. Yeah, I forgot I changed that here. Here we go. At number 10, Joe. Who we got at number 10? Yes.
Anyway, so for the interior lineman, this was a little bit harder to kind of decipher, because there's a lot of the centers and guards. It's kind of hard to rank them against each other, but I did my best here. At number 10, I got Keith Ismail. Very athletic kid, a kid that needs to get stronger going up into the next level, but there's a lot to like with his game. At number 9, I have Cordell Iwagwu. That's right, Cordell Iwagwu. This dude is amazingly fit, super strong. He is a guard. And he is devastating. He's very devastating as a blocker. He's a guy, if you're looking for a guy a little bit like second, third round to look for, you need a guard, this guy should be the guy to get. Number 8, I have a guy by the name of Darrell Williams. He's a center, and a lot of these guys I kind of discovered just by kind of looking at some of the tape that I was witnessing, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised by these guys. And I also took a look at their combine, and they were kind of off the charts in every category. At number 7, Natane Muti. Natane Muti, guy that's super powerful, as you can imagine. Guy that played center. He also played guard. He also played D-line. This guy is just a phenomenal athlete. Very big, strong, quick. All the tangibles that you ever need. But the question mark for him is, where do you really place him? Even though they list him as a guard, he played so many different positions. It's absolutely insane. So Nick Muti at number 7. At number 6, we're getting closer to number 5, Shane Lemieux. Shane Lemieux is also a guard and one of the best in the country. Watch out for him. He's going to make some big plays for some team. And in the top 5, at number 5, I have Nick Harris. Nick Harris is out of Washington. I just liked how quick and his movements were. He had quick burst and was able to phenomenal snaps as a center. So I look for him as more of a sleeper type center that someone could get maybe in the third, maybe in the fourth round, and be very happy with that selection. At number 4, I have a guy by the name of Ben Bredesen. Ben is a guy who, Jim, you may know him. He's the Michigan guard for your Wolverines, and I rated him as one of the best interior linemen there's coming out because I really like his game. He's very nasty. He's very strong. Lot to like with his abilities. And at the number 3, we have Tyler Biadasz. I don't know if I'm butchering his name or not. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I did my best. Tyler out of Wisconsin. He's center. A lot of people see him as the number 1 center coming out, and could be. But either way, with these next 2, they're all centers. It's kind of like a mix for me. Like it's like pick whatever flavor you want. You want the guy very athletic, very strong, a blend of the two. But Tyler Biadasz is my number 3. And at number 2, out of LSU, I have Lloyd Cushenberry. Lloyd Cushenberry, unfortunately, at the combine, injured himself and wasn't able to finish the combine. So I had to basically go off of game tape and see if he would deserve to be up here. He looks every bit of the part at center. He's a type of guy. He's the kind of tweener, if you will. He's a guy that is kind of stout. He has some athletic ability, has some speed, but needs a little bit more refinement in his game to take the next step. And at number 1, your guy from Michigan, Cesar Ruiz. That's right, Cesar Ruiz, phenomenal player, great center for the Michigan Wolverines. Has had a very great career with Michigan, and he looks amazing. I have him as my number 1 interior lineman. Guy had super clean snaps and just made all the plays. So there you have it for those old linemen there for you. And then we have,
there you go. There's a top interior lineman. He's got the offensive tackles he took care of earlier on. And now that brings us into Joe's top 10 running backs coming out of this year's draft.
All right, number 10, we have A.J. Dillon out of Boston College. A.J. Dillon is more of a bigger type back. If you're looking for a thumper type back, a guy that's very physical, can gain that extra yard or 2 to move the chains, this guy is the real deal. He has speed to go with his size, too, which makes him a little bit more dangerous. He's a little bit more athletic than people give him credit for, but watch out for A.J. Dillon at 10. And at number 9, I have Patrick Taylor Jr. Patrick Taylor Jr. I discovered through the combine as well. A guy that I didn't even know about until they brought him to my attention. A guy that I like his game a lot. Very athletic. He has some speed. He can catch out of the backfield. One of those hidden gems or sleepers, if you will, for this upcoming draft. At number 8, I have Raymond Calais. Raymond Calais is he's from one of the Raging Cajuns. He's very quick. He has a little bit slender of a body to my liking. I like a guy that has a little bit more meat on the bones and can make a difference in moving the pile and catching. But this dude, he's very quick, fast. He's one of those scutterbugs, if you will. A guy that's a real quick, shifty type of guy that you could utilize in your receiving game. At number 7, I have a guy from Arizona, J.J. Taylor. J.J. Taylor was very interesting. I was watching his tape. He's got good vision. He's kind of like the do it all type of running back. He can block for you. He can catch out of the backfield. He's got speed to go with it. He can break tackles. Lots to like with his game. He's not really put up there in the upper echelon of running backs, but he could be a solid player for some team looking for depth. Number 6, I have a guy by the name of Malcolm Perry. Malcolm Perry doesn't really get talked about too much as we get closer to the draft, but he should be. He's a dynamite player. He makes a lot of plays, can do almost everything for your team. and we'll see just where he falls in this upcoming draft. At number 5, I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's right, the running back out of LSU. A lot of people have Clyde in the top 2, top 3 discussion, but after seeing how he's not really quick, not quick, but not really fast. He ran kind of like a slower time than I would like to. He ran like in the 4.6s, and if you're looking for quickness, he has that, and he has the catching ability. He can block for you as well, but when you get to that next level in the NFL, you got to be able to have that burst and be able to pull away from guys, and I just don't see that in Clyde, so I have him at number 5. At number 4, I have Florida State Seminole Cam Akers. Cam Akers, he's being talked in that top 5 discussion. However, Cam Akers, I think, deserves a little bit more love. Very quick, shifty, fast type of running back, and when I say quickness, he's like probably one of the quickest running backs in this draft. So, very shifty guy. Keep an eye on him. At number 3, I have DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift out of Georgia. A lot of people have this dude number 1 overall as a running back. They believe wholeheartedly this guy is going to be the real deal, and he might be. But I just have him at number 3 because of his stature and his ability to block. I don't think is there. I've seen highlights of him blocking people and doing a good job, but when you got a real, true NFL linebacker coming in on you or a defensive end, I don't think he's going to do much in that aspect. So DeAndre Swift, I see more of one of those guys, like kind of like a Darren Sproles, very quick. He's going to be able to get some separation here and there, a receiving type back, not a do-it-your-all back. So that's why I have him at 3. And at number 2, from Ohio State, J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins, there's not much else you can say about this kid, but a very physical type of running back. He brings his lunch pail to work every single day. He will run through you. He will juke you. He will stiff arm you. He will block you. He will catch. He will do it all. So J.K. Dobbins I have just at number 2. And at number 1, out of Wisconsin, who I really truly believe should be the number 1 overall running back, is Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. This kid is freaky. He's not only big like a J.K. Dobbins, but he's quick. He's one of the faster running backs coming out. There's a lot to like in his game. He had question marks about catching ability. Well, he displayed that he could catch it very well at the combine. And you saw a few of the plays in Wisconsin. So, to me, there's no question about Taylor. Taylor should be the first running back taken. If you need a running back, that's your guy.
Absolutely. So there you go. There's Joe's top 10 list. Let's take a look back at him again here. He just finished off his top 10 running backs coming out of the draft. He's got Jonathan Taylor, number 1 here. J.K. Dobbins, number 2. DeAndre Swift, number 3. Number 4, Akers. Number 5, Edwards-Helaire. Number 6, Malcolm Perry. Number 7, J.J. Taylor. 8, Raymond Calais. Number 9, Patrick Taylor Jr. And number 10, A.J. Dillon.
And real quick, I know we don't have a little segment for it, but I'm just going to say
Sure.
this really quick.
Why not?
I know last week I did receivers, and I wanted to say this last week, but for people that are looking, maybe not for a receiver in the early part of the rounds, maybe you're looking for like a little sleeper, like a stud deep into the rounds, there's a couple of sleepers that I have listed here, and I say a couple, I mean a few. Tyler Johnson, Quez Watkins, Lynn Bowden, KJ Hill from Ohio State, Devin Duvernay from Texas, Brian Edwards, and Antonio Gibson. So those are a few names to look out for later in the draft, mid to late rounds. These guys could be huge additions for your team. They are definitely sleepers. They're guys that either came from a Division II school or just teams that aren't rating them that high, because that's how deep this draft is. It is absolutely insane how deep the receivers go. You could get a number 1 in the 3rd or 4th round. So this is the perfect draft. For a team that needs receivers, this is the one to get it. Now, the question is that everybody is debating, when do you take these receivers? Everybody's like, don't take take Jerry Jeudy, take CeeDee Lamb early, take all these other guys early, but Justin Jefferson, all these names are being thrown out there. But do you really have to? I mean, you could wait. You could possibly get a stud in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. Maybe they take a chance on a different position that is of need. Who knows?
Absolutely. There's a lot of teams out there that have a lot of needs that they do. And again, it's so deep. So again, do you take a chance on a guy that early? I think a lot of it boils down to even value. Where do you value this guy and where he lands, and what the draft will determine all that. Who saw Ed Oliver falling as far back to where the Bills would grab him? I mean,
the same thing with Josh Allen.
Josh
Allen, no one
last
really,
year, too.
really
So,
saw that either.
a lot of stuff moving on with all those guys. Again, here, let's take a look back at Joe's
lot of talent,
top 10
for sure.
interior linemen here for the offensive line. There you go. There's this interior lineman. And now, finally, he did the offensive tackles here. And there they are there, too. So Joe's putting out his list here right before the draft. It is coming up soon. We cannot wait. It's going to be happening next Thursday.
That's a lot of work.
It is.
That's all I got to say.
I bet.
It's crazy. I mean,
for that.
I would love to do this for a living, though.
Yeah.
So much
definitely.
fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure. And we will see you guys next week for our pre-show here with the NFL draft coming up. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you guys next
Later,
time.
know-it-alls.
Definitely. Take care.
Join us next week from 8 till 10 Wednesday night for more Football on the Know with